Hi everyone, welcome back to another AK Reacts reaction. And today I'm going to be reacting to a video, and I'm sure you guessed it, from Nate the Lawyer. And this one is man who shot former cop 15 times wins election for sheriff. So I don't know how that is possible, but you shot a man 15 times. But I mean, the context is not there uh, from the title. But I want to see exactly how a person that shot someone 15 times doesn't say if the person passed away or not. But yeah, let's check this video out. Another Nate the Lawyer banger. And as always, I'll leave the link to the full video in the description. So without further ado, let's go ahead.
A 36-year-old father wakes up at 1 o'clock in the morning to find his 14-year-old daughter missing. To be more accurate, she's been kidnapped. He calls 911, leaves the house, goes, looks for her, and finds her in a car with the kidnapper. He then runs the kidnapper off the road, shoots and kills him, and rescues his daughter.
Okay, that makes a lot more. There's a lot more context here, and I don't know how I feel about that. Somebody kidnap your child. Um, I don't know what I would do, so I can't really judge this guy. Someone kidnapped his daughter. You don't know what he was planning to do to your daughter. So I can't really say if killing this guy or whatever he did to him was excessive or whatever, because again, you never know how someone is going to react in a situation like this. I can't even say how I react. you know don't ever want that to happen to any of my kids or anyone else's kid. But yeah, some people might say the the, the criminal deserved that, and I can see a lot of people siding with this guy. I mean, I I gotta be honest. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all.
The kidnapper off the road, shoots and kills him, and rescues his daughter. Most people would think the case is open and shut. He saved his daughter. The man's a hero. But the prosecutors say he's no hero. He's actually a murderer and should go to jail for the rest of his life. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Now, speaking of that, I don't agree with that because I've seen it happen here in New York, where it's like the victim is now the criminal. And I mean, it's not the same type of situation, but you're trying to save your daughter, who is the victim, but they're going to paint you as the murderer. And I've seen, like I said, I've seen that before. I think here, I think it was in the Bronx, I believe, or Queens, somewhere like that, where the uh, owner of a bodega was uh, was there. I think the woman walked in and wanted to use her EBT or something like that, and it didn't have enough funds in it or something like that, and she wanted to do a IOU, and he said no. And then I believe her boyfriend came in, stabbed him, whatever. He shot the boyfriend. The boyfriend died, and they tried to prosecute this man, which was crazy. What was he supposed to just stand there and be stabbed up? And so he supposedly was supposed to let them stab him to death. That's basically what that was saying to me. And he defended himself, which to me is self-defense, but they they wanted to call it murder because of all these people that was running around, going crazy, talking about he should be prosecuted. And to me, it's like they're listening more to the people who don't care about the context or whatever. Everything is just, you know, everybody's just so, I don't want woke or whatever it is, that they just want justice, even when you are so even when it's clearly self-defense. But eventually they drop the case. But you're seeing this more and more happening now. It's like you're not supposed to defend yourself.
This is Aaron Spencer. He's a 36-year-old male from Arkansas. He's married to his wife, Heather, and they have a 14-year-old daughter. Now, he's worked as a farmer, a general contractor, and he's a military veteran. Now, I also have to introduce you to Michael Fossler. He is 67 years old, and he's not a stranger, but he's the boyfriend of a family friend. Now, to understand the story, we got to start in the spring of 2024, when the Spencer's daughter, who's 13 at the time, alleges she was targeted, stalked, and had an inappropriate relationship with Fossler.
Her daughter's interactions with Fossler actually started earlier this year. She wrote, in spring-summer 2024, our then 13-year-old child was targeted, groomed, and ultimately by the boyfriend of a family friend. Our family did not know this monster. He just appeared in a place where our child should have been safe and got access to her phone number. And that's all it took.
Now, the DA's office threw the book at Fossler, charging him with over 40 felonies. And the judge had some sympathy for Fossler, giving him a measly $50,000 bond, which he posted pretty quickly. Now, as a condition of that $50,000 bond, he was issued a restraining order that said he had to stay away from the victim and the victim's family.
I would never understand that. How can you have sympathy for a man who would do things like this to a child? I don't understand what's going on in this country these days. I don't know what's going on. Everyone just seems to have sympathy for criminals these days. It's beside me. I just don't understand it, especially someone who's doing things to children. Um, I mean, they should have the book just thrown at them. You understand? I mean, if they turn out to be found guilty, yes, they should have the book just thrown at them. And of course, he was not found guilty. He was alleged at the time, but still, you felt sympathy to give him $50,000 bail. What sympathy are you feeling? Like, why are you feeling sympathy for this man? Like, what reason does the judge have to feel sympathy? But it's the judge's decision. And you see this happen a lot where they're just giving people who letting people out and giving them these lowball bond, and they're back on the street doing the same thing that they were doing. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with the judicial system these days in certain places.
He was issued a restraining order that said he had to stay away from the victim and the victim's family.
The Lonoke County Sheriff says they responded to the initial call regarding Fossler in July.
Took a report of a inappropriate relationship, possible sexual misconduct, and we realized that was Cabot jurisdiction. We reported that to Cabot detectives. Cabot worked that case. He was subsequently arrested back in July, placed in the Lonoke County Detention Center. The initial charges was rape and internet stalking. And I believe other charges were added, such as child pornography.
That driver had more than 24 stalking and sex crime charges pending, involving both the child in his truck and another girl. Somehow, Michael Fossler was out and about that night because he was free on a mere $50,000 bond that he had no trouble posting.
Now, we got to fast forward to...
Exactly. I would never understand that. That's beside me. Like, the judge felt sympathy. Get the hell out of here.
October 8, 2024, around 1 a.m., where Aaron and his wife are sleeping and they're woken up by their dog barking. Aaron Spencer then goes upstairs to check on his daughter and discovers that his daughter's missing and that in her place is a hoodie placed over a stuffed animal. So Spencer panics and calls 911.
That's like straight out of a movie. That's things you see in a movie. Kids will sneak out or whatever and just put a hoodie or something in there and put a pillow inside. That's the thought that came into my head.
He placed over a stuffed animal. So Spencer panics and calls 911 and then goes looking for his daughter. Remember, she's 14 and it's 1 a.m. in the morning.
Spencer called the Lonoke County Sheriff's Office the night of October 8th, reporting his 14-year-old daughter missing.
Hey, my daughter, I can't find her. She's not in her room. So initial call is a missing juvenile. Tuesday morning, about 1 o'clock in the morning.
So it's 1 o'clock, your 14-year-old daughter's missing. Mom starts checking around the house and the father jumps in his car and starts looking around the neighborhood.
I mean, how would you feel if you wake up and your daughter is not there, your child is not there? Whether daughter, son, doesn't matter, your child is just not there in the middle of the night. You would be panicking. You would be frantic. I mean, all sorts of thoughts would be running through your head. So yeah, it's a very scary situation.
And while he's driving around the neighborhood, he sees Fossler's car. And inside the front seat of that car, he sees his 14-year-old daughter. Now,
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'll be in a rage. I would probably be in a rage seeing that.
seat of that car, he sees his 14-year-old daughter. Now, I need to stop here and just explain how crazy this is. His 14-year-old daughter is in the car with the man who is currently standing trial for doing horrible things to not only her, but other young people. There was a restraining order put in place that obviously has been violated, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Here's a quick jury question for you. Do you believe Aaron Spencer in this moment believes reasonably that his 14-year-old daughter is in imminent danger of death or serious physical injury being in the car with the man who is facing life in prison for assaulting her?
Oh yes, yes, I do believe so. I do believe so. At least that's what would be running through my mind, and I'm so sure many other dads out there, fathers out there, would be thinking the same thing.
In the car with the man who is facing life in prison for assaulting her. Oh yeah, and also there is a restraining order saying that he can't even be near this 14-year-old. Now, Fossler started to drive away with the 14-year-old in the passenger seat, and Spencer chased him. This is what happened.
On October 8th, 2024, Spencer says his 14-year-old daughter was missing from her room, so he jumped into his car and searched the area until he says he spotted her in the back seat of 67-year-old Michael Fossler's car. Fossler was out on bail after being charged with more than 40 child sex crimes involving Spencer's daughter.
Damn, 40. Yeah, I think he had a um, reasonable actions or suspicions to do what he did. I think it was very reasonable to, so far from what I'm hearing. I don't know if I would have done any different. I don't know if I would have done any different. I can't really fault this father at all. And this 67-year old man is doing this type of shit. God damn, man. You deserve everything that happened to you. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it.
According to an affidavit, Spencer rammed Fossler's car off the road and then shot him during an altercation.
Now, to be clear, Spencer shot Fossler 15 times. Then when police get to the scene, they arrest Spencer for first-degree murder, but later reduce the charges to second-degree murder. Now, the district attorney's office has heard these same facts and has come to the conclusion this wasn't a father trying to protect his daughter. This was second-degree murder because the father actually intended for all this to happen. Here is the prosecution's theory of the case.
Wait, how would he intend for that to happen? Did he intend for his daughter to be in the same car with this criminal, with this child, this predator, this man that is going after kids? Is that what he intended? He intended to traumatize his daughter. Is that what you? I mean, I want to hear this theory.
Prosecutors attempting to paint a picture that Aaron Spencer planned to kill 67-year-old Michael Fossler even before he found Fossler with his 14-year-old daughter on October 8th, 2024. That theory emerged in a legal brief late last week. His defense says his actions before the shooting aren't relevant. The state says they are, and included several new details in their reasoning. Prosecutors highlighted Spencer's conduct 3 months before the killing. Prior to Fossler's arrest in July on more than 40 charges and counts, the state says Spencer asked an acquaintance of Fossler's for the man's address. He allegedly told that person, quote, "Don't call anyone. Don't call the police." But word did get out, and as investigators looked into the rape, 2 Lonoke County sheriff's officers showed up to Spencer's home. A transcript of their conversation, recorded by body cam in July, is in the state's filing. Spencer questions how much prison time Fossler might face. He asks the officers, what's going to happen? 3 to 5? He's rolling around, cruising, grooming? He then refers to another child abuser and says, quote, he's going to get back out, isn't he? Indicating his belief that the same would happen with Fossler. One of the deputies warned Spencer, saying, "We don't live in a country where you can take the law into your own hands." Spencer responds with an expletive. The prosecution saying all of this proves Spencer had an intent to kill, saying, quote, "His understandable rage did not give him the legal right to kill Fossler."
So the prosecution's theory.
Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of tough right there. But still, he might have been angry. Remember, his daughter was a victim of this guy, and of course, as a dad, he wasn't even thinking as an officer anymore. He was thinking as a father, a concerned father who doesn't, at that moment, I think he felt what a lot of us feel is like, is it ever enough? Does the justice system give them enough? Because it seems like they just come out back, they just come back out and be out in no time, and they continue doing what they were doing before, to some, to other kids now. And yeah, he may have been thinking about it, but I don't believe he planned for this man to come and take his daughter, or whatever happened that night with his daughter, for that to happen. And so he was already enraged, and then he came after his daughter again. Uh, Yeah, I think that tipped him over the top. I think that pushed him even more over the top. So yeah, I still don't think what he did was wrong, in my opinion.
Rage did not give him the legal right to kill Fossler.
So the prosecution's theory is simple. Spencer planned it. And the evidence they cite is that 3 months ago, he asked an acquaintance for a Fossler's address and said, "Don't tell anybody." He questioned officers about potential prison sentences for Fossler, and he expressed a belief that Fossler would be released early like other abusers. So the prosecution's saying, because
Which is a very true thing. They do release these guys on good behavior and all this stuff, not thinking about the impact and the the trauma, and that they inflicted on their victims.
would be released early like other abusers. So the prosecution's saying because he did that 3 months ago, that is enough evidence to prove that Spencer actually planned all this out and this was an intentional murder. Now, after hearing these facts, the community said, "This is nonsense. Why are you even charging this guy?" And Spencer said, "Yeah, why are you charging me?"
And I would agree with them. Like, why are you charging this guy? Why are you that happened 3 months before, and he didn't do it 3 months before. So what makes you think that this was planned? Did he plan? Like I said, did he plan for this man to come and take his daughter?
Nonsense. Why are you even charging this guy? And Spencer said, "Yeah, why are you charging me?" And decided to do something about it. He decided to run for sheriff.
If I told you a candidate for county sheriff chased another man down, ran his vehicle off the road, and then shot him dead in cold blood, would he get your vote? This is not a parlor game. This actually happened a year ago in Arkansas.
About me. It's about every parent, every neighbor, every family.
It's the campaign kickoff for an Arkansas sheriff's race everyone is talking about. His name is Aaron Spencer, and he's running to be the top lawman of Lonoke County, all while currently fighting murder charges, announcing his campaign in a Facebook post.
Through my own fight for justice, I have seen firsthand the failures in law enforcement.
Spencer is facing second-degree murder charges.
I'm the father who acted to protect his daughter when the system failed.
After his video post went viral, with many commenters praising Spencer, his wife launched multiple fundraisers that have since been removed. The campaign's Facebook page with 15,000 followers now links to a new fundraising page. Spencer posting, "Support from this community has been beyond anything I imagined." The primary is set for March. Candidate filings begin next month. Spencer will likely face off against current Lonoke County Sheriff John Staley, whose department arrested him.
All right, so we have the battlefields drawn. It's the old sheriff that arrested Aaron Spencer for murder because he saved his daughter. And we have Aaron Spencer saying, "Law enforcement's messed up and I'm going to change it." And they're going into the primary. The winner of the Republican primary is going to win this election. So here's what happened.
The results are in. Political newcomer Aaron Spencer has defeated incumbent Sheriff John Staley and challenger David Bufford in the Republican primary for Lonoke County Sheriff. And now we look ahead to what could come next.
You've probably heard Aaron Spencer's story by now. Like you said, after the man accused of raping his daughter was released on bond, the man allegedly captured the girl again before Spencer chased him down and killed him. He's now running for sheriff, and last night's successful result brings a lot of uncertainty to Lonoke County.
So he seems to have overwhelming support in the community, and
Of course, a lot of parents is going to side with this man after hearing that story. Like, how can he be charged? Yes, you have evidence of him being outraged, upset 3 months prior that the man who victimized his daughter got out basically practically the next day and is out free, back doing what he was doing. And again, it's not unreasonable that for any parent to be outraged and wanting to do something. I think a lot of parents, many, about 99% of fathers would, and in my opinion, would be acting the way that he's acting, wanting to do something to that guy, feeling like the justice system that he is even a part of is failing. The system is failing, and again, that's the era that we're in, where the criminal becomes the victim all of a sudden, and we have to have sympathy for the criminals, and that's what's going on in these days. And I don't know, I don't like the direction that we're going in.
Lonoke County.
So he seems to have overwhelming support in the community and is the Republican nominee for sheriff, which means essentially he's going to be sheriff. Now, let's just look at the full picture here. A 13-year-old was groomed and had a relationship with a 67-year-old man. The system charged that man with over 40 felonies, but then released him on a measly $50,000 bond. Then he goes and violates the court order that says you can't have contact with this victim or their family, kidnaps her in the middle of the night, puts her in a truck, and then when the father goes and rescues his daughter, he's put on trial for murder. Now, with those facts, I don't think there's any reasonable person, I'm using that word specifically, reasonable person, that would convict Aaron Spencer beyond a reasonable doubt. Matter of fact, the sheriff that arrested Spencer is on record saying that he can't say he wouldn't have done the same exact thing.
My investigators have family, they have children. I'm a daddy. In a situation similar to this, I can't tell you I wouldn't act the same way. But now we are the fact finders. We don't file the charges.
This was fantastic for the defense, because when the sheriff goes in the stand, you just got to ask him the same question. The sheriff is saying he may have done the same thing. So how could you then make the argument that Spencer wasn't acting reasonably? It seems like the sheriff even thinks he was. Now, I got to say it.
But like the sheriff says, he's not the one that prosecutes you. That's the district attorney, and the district attorney don't seem like he's thinking, or she is thinking reasonable at all, because that many people would side with this man. Like, I am siding with him. I think what he did for the best interest of his child, and many of us would have done the same thing.
A legal professional that I know believes that Aaron Spencer is going to jail. The prosecution's argument that he planned it is a joke, because you would also have to convince me he planned for this guy to kidnap his daughter. And I've seen no evidence that even suggests that. So now I'm going to throw it to you guys. Let's just keep it 100. I'm a hard not guilty. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm not. The man is not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. And even if you are thinking about, I'm not too sure, I'm going to ask you this. The standard is, do you think the prosecution is going to be able to prove these charges beyond a reasonable doubt? And what I mean by that is, they got to prove, number one, that Aaron Spencer did not act in self-defense. The question is going to be, when Aaron Spencer saw his 14-year-old daughter in the middle of the night next to that 67-year-old man who had essentially kidnapped her and had a restraining order saying that he couldn't even be next to her. Was it reasonable for Aaron Spencer to believe that his daughter was facing serious physical injury or death in that kidnapping situation? If you say yes, his daughter was facing serious physical injury or death, then he is obviously justified in using deadly physical force to retrieve his child. Now, you can also come to the conclusion that his daughter wasn't facing death or serious physical injury. And in that case, you would have to say Aaron Spencer is guilty of some form of homicide, either manslaughter or, in this case, second-degree murder. Tell me how you came out in the comments section, because as you know, I'm a hard not guilty, but I've been wrong before. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to all the great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Okay, yes. So you guys do the same thing and let me know what you think about this in the comments, because I can't see how this man can be found guilty at all. I can't see this man being found guilty because I think it was he had reasonable he acted reasonably. He had reasonable he had reasons to believe his daughter's life was in danger. Now, this man is facing charges of over 40 counts on doing things to his daughter, and he got basically a slap on the wrist to be out on a measly $50,000 bail. He's out, and he might, and then he kidnaps his daughter, have her in the car with him, and in your mind you see him in the car with your daughter. You might think that being that she is who might be putting him away in prison, he might be trying to get rid of her, that way she can't testify against him or give any evidence against him that would put him away for life. So of course you might be thinking, okay, what is he going to do with my daughter? Is he going to harm her? Is he, so again, I don't see it. I can't see any parent that would disagree with this man and his actions. I certainly don't. I stand with him. But again, you let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload new content. And as always, I'll leave a link to this video directly from Nate the Lawyer without my fat face being in it. And I'll leave links to my Rumble, my Twitter, and my other socials. Until then, peace out.